special Australian twists straight from the outback.
The whole thing was hush hush. They couldn't have the Japanese find out the Allies are trying to themselves. But Tokyo those did find out before the Battle of Mackay and congratulated the force going off. A lot of the old times, I'll tell you, they used to watch the planes going into the fight for the Battle of the Coral Sea. But this particular day, there was a swamp between them and these two brothers and a big sand bank. And on top of that were all these sailors. They thought, oh, there's a ship being sunk. These are the survivors. The bloke's running towards them, yelling out, we're over here, over here. His other mate had binoculars. He'd come back, he said, they're bloody Japs. You could see an officer with a samurai sword. They just come ashore for a bit of a rest. They used to do this. And they're all waving at the two blokes in the cane field. Anyway, they ran for their lives. They only had a 303 on them. And they rang up to shoot rabbits. They rang up the local home guard. By the time everybody came out there with guns, they were going back to the ship. They were probably from the sub. But they came ashore and rolled off cans one night, knocked on the door. Immaculately dressed officer. The naval officers had to act like English gentlemen. They had to wear white gloves and everything. Because the agreement for helping the Allies in World War I, you know what they did to the Russian fleet, in exchange for that, the British had to train Japanese naval officers at their naval academies and so forth for the airmen and soldiers. That's why we got such a beating. They used our tactics. But the thing is, the officer, this old lady opened the door and there's a Japanese officer there with a sword and everything, and bowed to him, asked him very politely. They'd been at sea many weeks, they'd like to come ashore and have a little party. So out came the sake and everything, and they were sharing around. So a couple who had no other choice but to go along with all. They might have their heads removed, they thought. Yeah. And the Japs had a great old time. They gave the old couple all these supplies, bowed to them, and they hugged the old lady and went back to their sub and off. And they used to come ashore up in the Daintree River, and two Japs on horseback went all the way down to Cairns to watch the American base there, and then ships and then by the time it was reported two Japanese were roaming around on horseback, they were gone. They were picked up at a pre-arranged spot in the Daintree River one night by sub. But in that time, they pulled in the boundary riders hut up at Atherton and decided to camp there. And a few days later, the boundary rider came there and found the door being forced, and on the table all these empty tins and the five Japanese noblemen, and a very polite note thanking him for the use of his accommodation and for the food.
You didn't give him shares of this to this company.
Oh my God.
Because he's not committed to scientific honesty in any way, really, has he? So all he's done is he's perpetrated extraordinary fraud to try and get back at the establishment. And all these so-called experts. But he also wants to become city slickers because he hates the city slickers. And that's what he's
really see this town and country dichotomy.
Absolutely. Very much so, yeah. I've been brought up with a real parochial Queensland mentality. I'm very aware of the prejudice of city people against country people, and country people against city people. And Rex...
University is the great city.
That's the symbol to the whole city people. They've got lots of degrees there.
They're getting paid for their corruption and fraud, he's not.
Yeah, so he thinks, well, bloody hell, good government. So he's like almost like Ned Kelly.
He likes a good home.
Yeah, he'd love Ned Kelly, he'd say that he's a real man of the people, standing up against a bunch of sturdy people passing the
Ned Kelly was, as long as Ned Kelly was his mate.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything violent. So all he does is he picks up stones and says, ooh, I reckon this could be a dinosaur turd. What do you think? What do you think, Heather?
What was the
Heather,
dinosaur
do you
eating?
think this could...
I think it was an insect turd from a single mammal. It was like 100 years constipated. 100 million
That
years
could be the
constipated. It was an insect turd.
That's the old
Well,
McDonald's.
His anus swelled 600,000 times.
That's an old
the
Big
size of
Mac.
his body.
well, I think that's a pretty reasonable idea.
Fossilized pickle, yes.
Did you have it in a dream?
Well, no, I actually found it in my Big Mac. It's a fossilized pickle.
Now,
Dude, it's crumbling
this
away.
is a splinter of a megalithic tool used by a fossilized banyan. You can recognize it by its jagged edges and red coloration.
Can we
That's
get a
from its
close-up of
last.
this?
Oh yeah, well,
Actually,
yeah.
no, we'll get the let's get the close up. This one's very similar, of course.
It has remnants
What's-
of its last meal. You can see that quite clearly
Look
here.
at that.
It's red over here. These are
That little square there means that the little bloke has to go over there before he can get any dinner tonight.
it's an ancient
If he goes
ancient
that way, he'll get bashed by that group of gang there.
Wow! And it looks like an ancient Celtic design, but it could be Phoenician or Egyptian. But what the hell? They're all fucking foreigners anyway.
No,
So
no,
what
and they
difference does
also
it make,
mix
really?
their scripts.
Yeah,
they also
they-
mix their scripts
They do.
into
And
Brandon.
See, that one was in the bottom of a UFO. See how it's all got burned there and at the top? And then that side's not. So
I can tell by just touching it that it's a combination of a number of rare elements, including magnesium and argon and Betelgeuse fluid.
I reckon
which
that
comes
one
from
has
a-
to go in the cabinet.
Along
It's that
with
precious.
bismuth.
That was,
Bismuth is a
Diamagnetic element.
this one's so
It
precious.
levitates.
It has to
It'll
go.
levitate.
It levitates.
This one's
And-
levitating.
Yeah.
Did we get that? Did we get that? We missed that.
You can see that this one
It's
too
just falling down
has
now.
an amazing ability to balance
Yeah.
and at any angle. Now make sure you don't get the finger down the edge. At any angle it'll stay suspended.
And it's a megalithic site for a giant ant colony that has been known to fester around Australia.
Well, that seems more than probable. You do have a number of qualifications as an archaeologist, I take it.
Like-
You did say you did. You did say you did, and therefore I assume that
I
it's
do.
true.
I do.
Because I myself am educated from the school of life and living in the outback, and I'm deeply in touch with the Aboriginal people. We call them Abos out here. Japs, and Japs. Japs are all over the fucking place. All my mates,
Selling
we're
up
down
the
to the
river on
pub,
submarines.
we fucking fought them all off. We call
Battle
it
of
the Battle of
Brisbane.
Battle
Battle of Tamworth.
Battle of Tamworth.
It's happening right now.
It's
Hey,
right here,
They
right
sailed
here,
up-
right
They
now.
sailed up that river there in the middle of Tamworth in that submarine. And
Really?
They popped
In
up.
Tamworth?
Yes. They popped right up the submarine and
You
come
know-
up and went bought a Cooper hat from Arthur Williams.
You know, the young
and a
people,
dries about shoes.
you know,
and
the
they
young
went,
people that just wouldn't believe something like that.
Ah.
You know?
I believe it.
Ah,
So
see.
we're really
They're
living in
so silly. If
1945.
they just knew, if they had the wisdom of the elders, you know.
Well-
I've met a few elders in my time. Yeah. I've been older all the time. Yeah. You understand, I take it. Yeah.
Gee, look, there's a dinosaur. That's a mobile dinosaur.
Because it involves a special type of foot which rotates very fast.
So he reckons
And
he
why
could
did the
never get a
Mayans only have
Tyrannosaurus. How
wheel-
could he get
wheels
two
for the
Tyrannosaurus Rex in one ark?
It's incredible, and it
I know.
disproves the entire body of Western science. The fact that by a pure and simple logical argument, you couldn't get two Tyrannosaurus Rexes in one ark, and therefore all paleontology is just an utter load of crap. And
Yes.
That's a big leap, big step you make, almost as big as the Tyrannosaurus Rex's stride.
it's right indeed. And you must
Necessary one to take, a leap of faith almost.
Absolutely. Well, a leap, we're all about leaping. We are the greatest Australian thinkers. That
Leap
you
champions.
well know. You know? And
More
therefore,
like Luke champions.
what seems like a small
that looks
step
like a
to other
pyramid.
people,
That's a pyramid,
to
look.
us.
That's right.
And vice versa, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because in the psychiatric terms, a delusion is still a delusion, even if it transpires by coincidence. And I have that on authority from a psychiatrist who examines the mental world.
Delusion is a delusion.
A A delusion is still a delusion.
Yes.
Even if it transpires by coincidence to be correct.
To be correct.
And this is a psychiatric truism.
It's immutable fact.
It's not up for debate.
Well, it's a pretty sure way of winning a debate.
That's right, because there is no debate. We can't have a debate. You're right, I'm wrong. Right. Vice versa.
Because it's a truism. And there we have the divine revelation.
Yes, put the zoom on.
Yeah, it's a zoom. Sorry. Dazzled by modern technology, I was
Where is it?
dazzled by the sun. Straight ahead there.
Oh.
No flies on my back.
Gotta keep moving.
Yes, no flies on me. Hundreds of them.
Well, the wreck.
You know, she's telling them off now. Right at this very minute, she's going, I told you not to say that, you bloody silly man. She's saying to him, I told you not to say that. I told you bloody...
But you would be
No dinner for you tonight.
you would be quite amazed
Quite amazed.
by
I was.
the relics just after, likewise, just after you had gone and found the hieroglyphs. Rex found things. Just after I visited Rex, I have found things. This is, it looks like a snail shell, but it's in fact not a snail shell. This is clearly the land. Snails live near water. There's no water here. This cannot be a snail shell.
Wasn't that an ancient form of communication?
It was, yeah. It was in the
Like
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, earpiece.
It translates instantly. Any language.
Can we get a shot of that? I mean, in his ear there.
Over there, right here, and I can hear distant voices
right over here.
from the 19th dimension. And it's telling me, well, you've got 11, I've got 19, okay? I'm more enlightened because I got more dimensions.
1 and 9 is 10, 1 and 1 is 2. 11, 1 and 1, 2, 1, 9, 10.
Aha, the 10th
Numerology.
dimension. Aha,
Yeah,
both,
you're really in the 10th
both the
dimension.
19th and the 10th
Numerological terms.
dimension.
In numerological terms, of course.
In numerological terms and
You forgot to add, of course. Of course.
I did forget to add. And it's important not to forget to add, because you must always add everything.
Of
and
course.
it all adds up.
Of course.
Of course.
you must add, of course.
Of course, because it all adds up. And it all adds up
To
this.
absolutely nothing.
Well, this, you may call absolutely nothing, but it's not absolutely nothing. It feels, would you say
it's
that...
a vessel of wonder.
Well, it's of course
It's
clearly
from a vessel of wonder, it's a bit of rubber.
It is well, you call it. Does this look like rubber? Look,
It's a
it's
fossilized...
quite clear to me that this is nothing like rubber. Rubber is a thing that grows on a tree. I've seen a rubber tree myself. I have seen a rubber tree on several occasions. And a rubber tree is a brown thing with sort of green leafy bits up the top, and it's got a sort of a white sap. Does this look like anything like white sap? No, of course it is not white sap, so this is clearly not rubber. This over here looks like, to me, a rust. Rust does not grow on rubber. Therefore, this cannot be rubber, okay? You may think that it looks like clay, but I say it's rust. And have you ever seen anything quite like this?
They used to use these for jewellery. 12,000 years ago.
Yes,
It did.
it was popularly an Egyptian crown. And this is clear evidence.
A tiara.
A tiara of a man with extremely bad taste.
And apparently sometimes these tiaras were great big round things. They were black.
They did.
And he used to roll round and round. Bits used to fall off him. And they used to use it for...
And these little bits that did fall off them would be kept as priceless remnants.
Well, you could
on
always...
which several
relics.
And when you're crossing the desert, you could always pick them off and eat them.
large pyramids were built on top of them to stabilize the psychic effect of what seems like rubber, but is actually a strange and powerful.
But wasn't that electric impulses coming from the spaceships?
It neutralizes all the
even bullshit.
Yeah? Why don't you go give him some?
This is known as
in the sky as the city rose. See the smoke, watch it as it grows. And the choice, island of sand or the light of a great man. Don't fear his voice or the look in his eyes as he steals everything he can and says he can't understand how to live with the land. When you see chimneys in the haze and you think of the better days, can it be that someone has taken away what we used to hold in our hands? Everything that they can use till they leave us with only shells of the land, only shells of the land. Come alive. There's so much we can do. Come alive, come alive. There's so much we can do. Come alive, come alive. There's so much we can do. Come alive, come alive. There's so much we can do. Come alive, come alive. Come alive, come alive. There's so much we can do. Come alive, come alive. Come alive, come alive. There's so much